What is up there everyone, it's the guy from the Game Tech here, and today I wanted some feedback on my recent experiences with Rainbow Six Siege. Now, for the longest time I have not touched this game. It wasn't because there was anything wrong with the game, I just decided for personal reasons to not play it for a few months during my exams. And that means I've only just recently come back to this game, and a lot has changed. Most of my improvements in this game and just general gameplay has been readjusting to all the changes that have been made in those months. One of the main ones for me has been how much Pulse has been upgraded. Pulse is absolutely amazing now. He is actually the last standard operator that I unlocked. I personally didn't want to unlock him because I didn't really think he was going to be particularly useful for my playstyle. But recently I have found out how amazing this operator is. His gadget is a heartbeat sensor essentially, so you pull this heartbeat sensor up to your eye line and you can see through walls where people are moving. You can find out where the enemies are coming from, and it basically gives you the animation so you can flank the enemies and work out where they're attacking from. However, it is very easy to play this character wrong, and I'm still learning how to properly utilise his gadget. Because I've had so many moments where, yeah, I kill a couple of people, but I get flanked at the last moment because I wasn't quite paying attention. I had a moment on Oregon where I killed two people using Pulse's sensor. I actually spotted the Glaz was using their drone and managed to take them out, but I did not spot that I'd also picked up on my heartbeat sensor that someone was on the floor above. I didn't notice that in the gameplay, I only noticed it when I was rewatching it, and that was how I got flanked. I had another moment on Presidential Plain where I'd taken out 4 of the enemy players. I worked out that they were coming from below me. I admit I got quite lucky that I managed to kill them all because it was some slightly dodgy gunfights, but then I was up against a Glaz. I was using my sensor because it was a secure area game. I stayed on the objective to defend it. I used my sensor to find out where they were. I found them outside the barricaded door and I tried to shoot them through it. But in the time that I'd taken down my sensor and was starting to shoot, the Glaz had actually flanked me and walked in through the right hand door, and they shot me and ended my possible ace. I was a bit annoyed at the time, but at the same time I would realise that it's because I'm not familiar enough with this operator. You've definitely got to be very careful with how you play them, because if you go too early, it was a case of I basically made my move too soon, and it led to me dying and my team losing that round. We still won that particular game, but it was frustrating that I could have had a really awesome ace, but it didn't quite work out for me because I didn't quite play the operator right. One thing I'd actually learned before I went on my long break from this game was actually my personal tactics when using shield operators. First things first, if you've never used a shield operator, when you have your pistol at the side of your shield, it does not auto reload when you run out of ammo. You actually have to hit your reload buttons, that'll be square on PlayStation, to actually reload. So it essentially gives you that tactical awareness. You need to make sure you're safe when you're reloading, because when you reload, you actually pull down your shield and make yourself a lot more vulnerable. So that is one thing I had to learn. Another thing was also how to use Montaña's shield, because what Montaña's gadget does is it actually extends his shield so it covers most of his body, and it makes him a hell of a lot harder to hit. And when I first started using him, I thought I just had to press R1 and it would activate the shield, but you actually have to hold the button to keep the shield expanded, and that is how you actually have to use this operator if you want to use their specific gadget. I didn't realise you had to hold the button, but that's definitely something that is worth keeping in mind. I also learned how Doc can be quite amazing as well. Personally, I'd never realised that you could actually self-revive with this operator. What Doc has as a gadget is a stim pistol. When you fire this at a teammate, when they're in downed, they will get revived, but if you get put in the down position as Doc, you can actually self-revive yourself. And I had a really cool clutch round playing hostage on Chalet using this ability, and I actually realised that this makes Doc a very good defensive operator. However, I personally wouldn't use him on every map. His gadget is useful, but for game modes like Bomb and Secure Area, I personally wouldn't use him for the simple fact that I don't find he's that beneficial. Someone like Jaeger is much more beneficial in my opinion on those maps, and also trap operators because they slow the enemy's advance onto the objective. In Hostage, Doc I find is a lot more useful because you need as many teammates as possible to be able to defend the hostage and make sure no one is sneaking in to take the hostage. It also means you can self-revive yourself and quickly revive the hostage if you need to. One thing I'd seen on a competitive live stream, but I haven't actually been able to test for myself, is apparently you can actually shoot Doc's stim pistol through a wall. So for instance, if you had a plywood wall and your teammate was downed on the other side, you are supposedly able to shoot the stim pistol through that wooden wall and still revive your teammates as long as the stim pistol shot hits them. That would be a very useful tactic on some maps, but you do have to be careful. Another thing I'd also learnt from competitive live streams was actually that on bomb modes especially, you really need to use nitro cells or some explosive gadget to create a path between the two bomb sites. The last thing you want to do is trap yourself on one bomb site, because if they are on the other, you are absolutely screwed. You need to have that free movement between those bomb sites, because otherwise you're basically going to bite yourself in the arse by the end of the round. But overall, I found myself enjoying going back to Rainbow Six Siege. I was a little bit worried when I first came back because I thought that maybe I wouldn't quite enjoy the game and some of the novelty of the destruction had worn off. However, I am finding myself enjoying the game, and I'm definitely looking forward to reporting some of my future improvements on this game. And also looking forward to the next DLC, which has the favela map, which looks quite cool. I personally still haven't unlocked any DLC operators. I'm currently trying to get enough renown to do that. I'm as yet to unlock any of them. I've got 5,000 renown at the moment, so I'll have to decide what operator I want first. And furthermore, I still haven't managed to play the recent map that was added with Blackbeard and Valkyrie. I haven't actually been able to play that map other than Terrorist Hunt, in which game I actually just died almost instantly, so I really haven't got a feel for that map. But I'm looking forward to playing that and seeing what happens in this next DLC. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed the video. This has been the Gardener Gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.